has arrived in the Mid-Atlantic region of the U.S., and it is a glorious afternoon at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards. You were telling me this yesterday. That's exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Throw right side, going to be caught by Waller. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
52 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change things up? Because if you don't, they're going to put that ball in the end zone real soon.
That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
Jacobs will score. Touchdown, Raiders. First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 24. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Jackson. And that is incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. Fielded just inside the 20. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And it'll be Raiders football 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also is a much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And Waller taking it in over the middle.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Got a man. It's Darren Waller. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 38-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect to it for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Another impressive drive. So they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
At their own 15-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They are back over the 500 mark for the season. Got there with a win a week ago, their second straight victory.
Well, they've definitely gotten better as this season has gone along, and from what I can tell, they know their roles. Everyone understands how they fit offensively, defensively, and this team now has an identity, and they're playing to it and playing well. Against a team coming off a win just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jackson. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. The Ravens at 5-4 now on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Jackson to throw. And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders are going to have it here just past the 25. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them. I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards.
That's a real nice job right there, working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. That's caught. He finds Danny Gray. Down inside the 10. Touchdown, Raiders. Danny Gray, his 11th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-0.
Raiders 21, Ravens nothing.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit, and they get one here in the passing game.
They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. The slot man in motion right. After the sack on 1st down, Jackson. And he fires one incomplete.
Down several scores and playing behind the chains is not the way to have success in this one. Right now, if you're the offensive line, your big concern, protecting your quarterback and give him a chance to try and throw something downfield to pick up the needed yardage.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
Hey, middle.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
There he goes right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score.
I mean, at this point, CD, what is not going their way in this first half? After that pick six, they now have a 4-possession lead here.
And that allows them to say to themselves, how about we get everybody involved, okay? Because this one is a runaway, and it's looking like it's going to be even more of a runaway. Everybody gets a chance to play and get a little bit of love. The more guys that get to watching the highlight reels from this one, the better.
Now this is going to be returned to the back line of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
He finds Bateman over the middle.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Hey, come on. Hey, Ozzy! Report! You change it.
On 3rd and 1, Jackson throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete.
And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
They go right back to him for 20 and a first. To throw again is Jackson. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
On 2nd and inches, Jackson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Picked up by Divine Diablo.
He's at the 40, the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Carlson now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he'll very wisely take a knee here as they'll bring this one out to the 25 on the touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert them. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had an excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
They go play action here on 1st down. He sets to fire deep. And this is caught.
And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
Carlson on for the PAT. And the route is on here in this first half.
Makes the score Raiders 42, Ravens nothing.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw complete there to Bateman.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And he rifles one incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. And my goodness, another interception.
And the Raiders are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And, Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so impressive reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly that. What do you think, partner? A season's worth of highlights in just 4 quarters? I think that's what we're seeing from this group.
So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Got his man. It's Bo Melton.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And that last throw, CD, going to move him even further up that all-time passing leaderboard as he just moved beyond Broadway Joe Namath at 27,663 yards.
And that's impressive because Joe Namath, my goodness, he could throw a football. I mean, it was just gorgeous the way he threw it. Rallied his Jets to a Super Bowl win, one of the greatest upsets in NFL history. Broadway Joe, the man. Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
And now here is another interception.
And the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
70 Lions. Left leg 19. 19 Lions. Cut 19. Cut 19.
Here's 2nd and 8.
He'll swing that out wide to Jacobs.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving. Well, this O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because if we were grading them on their performance in this game, a lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
He'll drop to throw. Dancing to his left. And that will be incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is, at the 6-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Jackson's throw pulled in by Melton.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the 3rd quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And he will have a Ravens first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Now Jackson on first down. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Excellent coverage on the play from Trayvon Merrick. We're in Baltimore. Third quarter action. 2nd and 10.
Now it's Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
But we saw that they had a lot of success last week throwing the football, but that hasn't translated to this week. But with his team behind, I don't expect him to back off. I expect him to keep firing.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Jackson will throw again. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews.
And he is going to have a Ravens first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
Both sides were holding their breath there on that 4th down play, and the offense can breathe a sigh of relief.
And both knew exactly where the first down markers were. You know the defense is trying to guard those sticks and try and keep people in front, but somehow, some way, those guys found a way to pick it up.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Rock Ya-Sin. And the Raiders are going to take over here up near the 40.
The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he'd won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
He gets this to Devontae Adams. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 36. Adams the man in motion right. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. They find some open field here. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9.
152 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd goal. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs. His third touchdown of the game, number 16 on the season. And the Raiders will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled it to 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Jackson. Going for Bateman. He's got him on the out route. And he will have a Ravens first down as he'll be marked down a yard or two past the marker following a gain of 6. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And the Raiders have got him. Max Crosby, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Jackson, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football. He's got a man, complete. And he is finally forced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. It's a big play there for Vegas. 42 yards. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he's brought down, but not before a gain of 13, down to the 13. 1st and 10 in the red zone. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted.
Picked off by Odafe Oweh.
The 40. Past the 20. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. And maybe a small measure of revenge for this defense as they've been thoroughly dominated so far, but a brief bright spot there with that pick six.
Seemingly coming up for air after being dominated as you described. They get a nice play there. Probably not going to change the balance of this game, but they have to feel a little bit better about themselves after that one.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Oh, the Ravens say they have it. They do have it. Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
Their mini two-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
Touchdown! A big play there. 54 yards.
And the Ravens get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth-quarter deficit.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the first down carry.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. Well, up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That passing incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but, Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. But they have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the fourth quarter.
And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Carlson now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
33 yards that time. From the gun, Jackson.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, They've really been put through the ringer in this one.
On 2nd and 10, Jackson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders are going to get it back here just past the 35. Yet another mistake after the interception there. Gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Going for the deep ball. Oh, wide open, complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Carlson on for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
63, Ravens 14.
On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
Now this is going to be returned from the back line of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
Oh, looking for Andrews downfield.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team. But I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film. But this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that.
Tucker with the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Taken from about the 12. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score.
And that's caught inside the 35. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Carlson now to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Chandler Jones, one of the best athletes to ever come out of Rochester, New York, in for the sack. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. He'll look to throw.
Open man is Bateman. It's complete.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this 4th quarter play. Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. Slot man moves right. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And now here is another interception.
And the Raiders will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
David Ajabo
just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for Las Vegas,
the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they will head home next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head down to Miami to take on the Dolphins.